What's going on YouTube? Terminator Juice bringing you another video, and it's something I was thinking about all day today. I kind of had an epiphany while I was listening to a playlist I created on my iPod. Basically took my three favorite bands, Chevelle, Breaking Benjamin, and Deftones, and took all the albums I have on my iPod and put them into one playlist and hit shuffle. And I was sitting there just enjoying some of the best hard rock music there is. And I was thinking to myself about how most people I know don't know any of those bands. There's only one radio station that plays some of the songs of any of those bands, and doesn't get a ton of airplay. And it's just kind of a shame that there's just that good of hard rock music out there and it's not getting recognized. But then there's a band like Nickelback, who's a solid band. They have good musicians and stuff. Um, they write songs to be radio hits, and um, they're just hugely popular. People, just about everyone I know, if you say Nickelback, people know that that's a rock band. They pretty much have heard and sang along to one of their songs. I mean, they're just so popular. They sell out to 20,000, or not, maybe not 20,000, but at least between 10 and 15,000 seat arenas. Their albums sell in the 5, 6, 7, 8 million of copies per album. They get a ton of airplay. Just people even recognize the lead singer when they see him. And it's just like, why is one band in a hard, the hard rock genre just so much more popular than even the next most popular band is not even on people's radar? They're the second place band most people don't even know. There's just so many good hard rock bands out there that they don't get the attention. Like, it's like first place Nickelback, second place everyone else, and most people can't even name 5 hard rock groups other than someone like myself who's a big fan of hard rock music. And the epiphany I had was how that like mirrors the video game industry and Call of Duty. Like, Call of Duty is just like the top, and people that don't even play video games know what Call of Duty is. They've maybe even played it, and they've never played video games in their life. If you ask the average person if they knew like Bioshock Infinite was, they're not going to know what that is. But you say Call of Duty, and just about everybody is going to know what that is. And it's just like that with Nickelback and hard rock music. And it's just kind of like, as consumers, why do we follow the same trends? It's like we're sheep. We just follow the popular thing, and it's like, it's kind of sad because bands like Chevelle, Breaking Benjamin, and Deftones, my 3 favorite bands right now for the last 10 years basically, and maybe find one person out of 50 that recognizes the name and maybe knows one song, or I guarantee there's not a single person that I know that would recognize any members of those 3 bands, and they could walk right by them and no one would even know. But it's just kind of weird or sad that there just has to be one huge popular thing. Like, there can't just be, it's like there's no middle class. In America there's upper class and lower class. There's the middle class is shrinking. It's just like that with music in the hard rock industry. I don't follow many other types of music, and it's like there's the high class, Nickelback, or upper class I mean, and then there's a bunch of low class. There's very few middle class, and it's just weird that the same thing applies to video games. And I don't know why it's that way, and I don't know if there's ever going to be a solution, but it just seems like, and then people are complaining. That's another thing. Everyone dogs Nickelback. They're sellouts. They write music to appeal to chicks, and whatever. They're not real musicians. And then Call of Duty, they're just release the same game every year. They're just milking the franchise, and they're adding frickin' paying for gun camos, and they're just trying to get every single penny out of you. Yet it's the most popular game by far the last 5 years, and it's like people complain about it, but yet it sells so well. And just like Nickelback, everyone dogs them and gives them no respect, yet they sell, their albums sell well, and their tours sell out. And it's like, why is that? Is it because they're popular that people start hating on them? Or I'm not sure. It's just something I was thinking about all day, and I can't really come to any conclusion of why it is that way. And the sad thing is that good things get overshadowed, like first-person shooter genre. You got BioShock Infinite gets so I think it sold 2.5 million copies combined on the PS3, the 360, and the PC. That game was in development for a long time. It's an awesome game, probably be a Game of the Year winner, if not runner-up. And it sells 2.5 million copies. I don't even think that's turning a profit for a game that had that long development cycle. Versus Call of Duty, which comes out every year, same game mechanics, just gives you different levels, and people pay full price, and that sells 20+ million copies. There's definitely something wrong with that. I don't know. It's like, put your money where your mouth is. If you complain about Call of Duty, don't buy the game. Buy something, reward a company for doing something different, and purchase their game. Just like people that bitch about certain kind of a band that's popular, then buy somebody else's music. Like, buy a band that's not writing songs to be radio hits and make a ton of money. Buy a band that's writing songs because they have something to say and they're passionate about the music. Support those bands, and that's what I try to do. Even though I do own some Nickelback, they have some pretty good songs that, especially when you got people over, everybody wants to hear stuff they're familiar with. So, I got Nickelbacks on my iPod. I got Call of Duty games because I was a gamer. I started playing Call of Duty before it was such a huge trend, and my friends got it because I had it, and now we can play together and stuff. Haven't played as much lately, but I'm saying I own Call of Duty because I was a gamer, and it's a decent game. I mean, it's not like a crappy game. It's pretty good production value, and it's a solid game, just like Nickelback's a solid band, and their albums have high production value. They sound really good on a good stereo system. So, but I was a fan of hard rock. I didn't, I'm not just somebody who said, "Oh, these guys are popular. I hear the song on the radio. I'm gonna go see them in concert. I'm gonna buy their albums." But then you don't like hard rock music. You don't listen to any other bands in that genre. Just like Call of Duty players they'll buy an Xbox or a PS3 to buy Call of Duty, and then they don't buy any other games. It's like, it just boggles my mind that it's got to be that way. It's just got to have that one huge popular thing, and it just like transcends everything. Like, people that don't play games play Call of Duty. People that don't listen to hard rock listen to a band like Nickelback, and it's just kind of, I don't know the word. It's just weird why two completely separate industries would have such a just parallel path. I don't know. I don't know if that makes any sense at all. But yeah, I mean, there's tons of, I didn't mention a bunch of games other than BioShock, but there's just so many games get overshadowed because of Call of Duty every year. Just like so many bands get overshadowed because one or two bands, somebody writes a big radio-friendly hit and it overshadows just about everything else, and gets overplayed. And that's kind of what Call of Duty is like right now. It's overdone. They should have went to a year and a half, 2 years in between. It's just too much, and they're just, eventually it's going to die off. I mean, like, when Nickelback's popularity ends, it'll end fast, but the lower bands, they'll still have their 1,000 to 1,500 to 2,000 fans showing up to every one of their concerts because they were there all along, and it wasn't just like a bloated fad trend that exploded. And with everything that goes up must come down. So anyway, that's it for this video. If you guys have any comments or any other examples, different industries, different things, please leave them in the comments. I'd like to hear some thoughts on this, and we'll see you guys on the next video.